Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Excited to share with you a Halloween card. Halloween is just around the corner and I thought we would create a fun and pretty quick and simple card that would be great for neighbors or babysitters or just about anybody. Today's card would actually be really cute on a tag too. So if you want to make some smaller versions and make it into a tag and put it on your little candy bags for those trick-or-treaters, I think that would be fun. We're going to jump in and get started. We have the Say It with Stamps Halloween Word Trio die set. This is a fun die set because all the sentiments are playful. There's some spooky eyes in here, and I love the trick or treat. That's the one that we're going to use today. I'm going to go ahead and take that out. Before we do our die cutting with this, I do want to create some paper. Now we're going to do something kind of fun. We're going to be using the Say It with Stamps Build a Window. This is the number 6 size, which is, number 6 means it's the mini slimline size, but if you have the number 9, you could use that too, because we're going to be basically using the outline and then also the circles in here. So let's go ahead and grab those. And we're going to do a little bit of die cutting. The smaller circle, we're going to die cut out with black cardstock along with the trick or treat. And then these two, we're going to die cut out with some white cardstock. So let's grab some. I have a big sheet here. I think I might be able to get, we want 2 of these circles. So we'll die cut out 2 of the larger circles with the white cardstock. Black, we'll take out the trick or treat and also a couple of the smaller circles with the black cardstock. Now while we're doing some die cutting, I'm going to bring in some black fun foam. This is adhesive backed fun foam, so it's going to make it easy to stick that to my sentiment. I'll die cut out my trick or treat with my black fun foam also. While we're die cutting, we're going to take this and then we're going to do something a little unusual and take some printer paper. If you have thinner cardstock, you could use that. I just trimmed 3 sheets of printer paper in half. I'm going to layer them together and we could die cut all 3 out with our die at one time. We'll die cut out our printer paper also. Since we're die cutting, we're going to bring in one more die set. I have the Say It with Stamps number 6 border dies. You could again use the number 9 border dies. In here I like the postage edge, and we'll take this and some orange cardstock, and since we're doing die cutting, we'll do it all at once. And I'm going to die cut out an orange strip with the postage edge. So when I'm done die cutting, I will be right back. All my die cutting is done. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to take the black cardstock, the black trick or treat, and adhere it to our foam that we die cut out. So to do this, I'm just going to use my tape runner. You don't have to do this step. If you use black fun foam, I think you can get away with just using the black fun foam. But I kind of like the matte look. But that's our trick or treat, and it's adhesive back. So basically now all we have to do with our sentiment is peel off that backing. Before we do that though, we are going to push the rest of this aside and we're going to work with our printer paper that we cut out. Now we're going to take the printer paper, the 3 sheets, and I don't know if we'll use it all, but it's good to have more than less. And what we're going to do is just crinkle them like so. Don't you love messy crafting? Now after we crinkle them, we're going to kind of straighten them out a little bit, and then I'm going to bring in my craft mat and some gray ink. We're going to take our gray ink, and I'm using a blending tool. We're going to pick up a little bit of that ink, and I'm going to go really lightly over our crinkled paper. When you do this, you can use any kind of ink, gray ink that you have. When you do this, it really picks up on all of those crinkled areas. That's exactly what we want. We have all 3 of our papers done. Now's the fun part. We're going to tear. We're going to start by tearing at an angle. And you're going to want to go left to right and just tear your paper. You want to make sure that you have a top and a bottom, like so. I'm going to put these off to the side, and then I'm going to maybe tear this way. So we have all of our pieces, and then our top and our bottom. We're going to set these off to the side, and then I'm going to bring in that ink one more time, and on several of our pieces we're going to add extra color on the very bottom of the tear, and then flip it around and do the top of the tear, like so. And we're just going to do that to a couple of pieces. If you come to an end piece, don't do that to the end. You won't need the ends. I did 4 of those edge pieces, and I think that's the perfect amount. So it looks like we have a little bit of trash on our desk, but we're going to turn our trash into a treasure piece. So first what we're going to do is take one of our pieces. We're going to flip it around and add some adhesive behind it. And then we're going to go ahead and layer. We don't need to go all the way to the bottom, but line up the left and right edge along our panel that we cut out with cardstock. And then you're going to alternate between the dark pieces that we created and then the light pieces. So we have a light piece, and you just want to make sure you cover the cardstock, like so. That's a dark piece, so we need our light piece next. And we're going to go almost all the way up. I would say about 3/4 of the way up. Now I think this looks good. I'm going to carefully lift up my darker one and take my next lighter one. Once we're about 3/4 of the way up, tack that one to the left and then go overlap it a little bit, like so, and then kind of hold that section up. And then we're gonna, when we put our next piece over the light piece, I'm not going to add any adhesive to the bottom, just to the top. Okay, so we tack this down. After we have this done, the bottom's going to be trimmed off, so I'm not worried about that, but the top we might want to add a little bit of color to. So we have some extra pieces, so we can kind of find one that will fit. And I think this one will work good, but I do need to trim it down a little bit. So we just tear it, customize it. And I'm going to add some adhesive behind here. And this is going to go on the very top. Okay, the rest of our pieces are trash we can just toss. Or you can save it for another card or a tag if you prefer. We're going to make an A2 size card, and obviously this is a mini slimline. So we're going to trim this with the paper trimmer. I'm going to trim the bottom to 5.5 inches. Now while we have our paper trimmer out, I'm going to take some pattern paper. I'm going to be using some pattern, the purple stripes in our Say It with Stamps pastel 6x6 paper pad. I already pulled out a sheet here. And I need about a 1-inch strip is all we're going to need. And I'm going to trim this down to 5.5 inches because this is going to go on the left of our card base. We're going to grab all of our elements, and now is the fun part. We're going to take our circles. We're going to take our circles, and then we're going to add the black to our circles. We're going to use some foam squares for this, because I like to add a little bit of dimension. And you just basically add the black circle to the bottom of the white circle. Anywhere you like to add it is a great place, as long as it's touching one of the edges. And can you guess what these are? Okay, so with those are done, we are going to add those on the inside. Kind of, if you need to lift, you can, but we're going to add those, and you can kind of flip up the papers like so. But let's tack these down. We're going to add both of these on the inside of those torn papers that we didn't add adhesive to. I think cross-side's kind of cute. And if you have any areas that you want to flip up, you can do that now, because this adds just a little bit extra dimension. You can see on the sides here where it flipped up. And those are cute little eyeballs. Now we get to put our card together. I have my card base. This is a side folding A2 size card base. It's 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. We're going to start by taking our purple stripe paper. We're going to adhere this all the way to the left. We're going to take our mummy piece. We're going to put adhesive behind it and stick this right over the top here. If you want to use glue, you can. I just used my tape runner, but it's going to line up on those edges perfectly. Now that our panel's adhered, I'm going to take my border, place this all the way up to our mummy. So, and then before we add our sentiment, I'm going to bring in some black and white striped baker's twine. We're going to wrap this around, and I like to go over the seam with the baker's twine. We're going to tie a bow towards the top. And then I'm going to trim the tails here. And then we have our trick or treat. We'll remove the release paper and we'll add this. And I like to add this at an angle just for a little playful look. Cute as this. Finishing touches, I'm going to go over my eyes with some glossy accents. The glossy accents you just want a light coat. But the glossy accent's going on cloudy, you can see here. But when it dries, it's going to dry clear. And then that will finish my card today. I thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.